I mean, not that this is an acting class or anything like that, but you know, everything about you was like, you know, yes, I'm here and I'm gonna do this, and I am the minister of the church, and, you know, you can trust me. There was that air between you that, you know, I'm gonna see you guys through this, don't worry, kind of thing.
That's
And,
real important, yeah.
and you made it easy for them to repeat their vows. You didn't make a big deal out of the ring blessing, but it was very much a part of everything. And yeah, I just thought it was great all the way through. Great job.
I was
I
gonna
could
say
have
about
loaned you this too.
all that water
What's
thing.
that?
Oh,
I thought about that, whether I should use water or
I
not.
carry all of them.
You know what,
Actually
we
has
need to
the
get
bottle
one of
in it.
those.
It's actually,
I was gonna say
yeah.
that.
A lot of times you can bless the rings and then you sprinkle them like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a good sign.
As a norm, you would have either this, or
Bring down the
you
water.
have the regular
Something.
asperges and so
No, it's a
forth.
Well,
wonderful sign.
you keep this in case they don't have it.
Yeah,
Most of the time you go to the cemetery, they don't have these.
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
this is handy.
No, it's a really good sign.
oh, yeah.
See that?
I remember now, I wrote it down here, that Frank said that the vows that you're going to take, maybe the vows you're going to exchange. Because that's what happens. It's not you doing it for them, it's them doing it for each
That's
other.
right.
And so they're not taking anything, they're exchanging,
Committing to it,
giving.
exchanging, or, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's a blessing, but I said, your presence, to me, that was really real. And you were consistently making eye contact with us. And I could just, feel the sincerity, and just being, I felt married. I had a little tear in my eye.
Well, you did renew your vows.
Well, I know, we did, so.
And Mike was so convinced that.
Yes, he was.
I thought you had great command of the presence of the parties involved, and particularly at the time of the vows, I like when you said them softly and then encourage them to speak louder. It bothers me sometimes where the deacon or priest says them as loud as they want.
That's true.
We don't need to hear what he's saying, they just need to hear what he's
That's
saying
right.
and repeat it, so.
Well, it's funny, nowhere in the book doesn't say that I say those at
No.
all. It's for them to say.
Yes.
But I got it from my pastor during the summer when I saw, I observed my wedding.
Right, right.
And he told me, he says, I just whisper to them and let
That's
them,
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
and just lead them along on that.
Now, if in the rehearsal piece, or in forming them for this marriage day and so forth, as you work with it, they may choose to say without your saying, that's fine too.
Right.
As a norm, they feel more comfortable if you'd say,
Yeah.
I might take you more than you like. And then you say it like you did, very nice and low.
Yeah.
Sometimes what I'll do too is if they do say, hey, we're going to say it on our own, I'll keep it on a 3x5 card or a little bigger than some book here, and have it in a book so that they want to glance down, but they get nervous up there.
They do.
So, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
To finish up, I thought your homily blew me away. I thought it was excellent. Really, really on point, to bring the readings in, making it personal, really, really good.
Great. Any other comments? Jen?
I too thought that it was just a very comforting present, but I have to say that Hope set the pace the way she did that reading.
Beautiful
It
readings.
was just
So,
beautiful and
yeah, the
read
readings in general,
beautifully the
both
way she
great.
is.
Great.
Proclamations.
Yeah, no, the readings were very well done. Yeah, I wrote that down too, I think, some readings. And that does set the pace. If you have people stumbling through this way, that's why on rehearsal night or way before that, when you work with the couple on preparation and all, who's going to do the readings, here's what the readings are going to be, you give them a copy of that so they can study it ahead of time and pray over it and so forth, and then proclaim as you did. This is quite really good. Thank you. Other comments? Yes.
Overall, it was a beautiful, smooth flow for the entire whole
Yes,
session. I didn't feel any tension or any strain, but it was very smooth. And I liked the very beginning greeting. He says, Mike and Martha, you come away for this for long. It feels so personal, like their dates or their love, until today, everything. So it's like a very personal that you know them. And the homily was perfect length.
Yes.
And then the landing was beautiful, and you didn't go on, and it was very good landing. And then I really learned the gem of that God is going to take vow. He will be with you, and He promised that He will be with you for your marriage. And I've never heard that from any other, wedding homily. So that was like my take-home gem for the day. And I like when you said to extend. I don't know, maybe all the other weddings do that, but Korean's wedding, we don't do that.
Yeah.
But that is very nice that everyone extend the arm and pray together. It was very holy.
It was,
Yes.
it's an option, obviously.
Oh,
If people
okay.
do it,
Yes.
appreciate it at times,
It's
yeah.
like you feel like you're together. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
My question, how long is the normal for something without the mass ceremony?
Between 15 and 20 minutes.
I was gonna say, usually, ideally it would be, I'm gonna be mechanical about this. If I'm gonna get married before this congregation, I like to keep it, certainly not less than 15 minutes, but closer to the 20 minutes. And you do that because there's singing. You can have singing sometimes, you have a reflection song, the recessional and a processional and a recessional. So it could be 20 minutes, it could even be up to half an hour sometimes, depending on how it's prayed. You have moments of silence after the readings, for example. The homilies usually, how long is your homily usually for a wedding?
4 or 5
4 or 5, 6 minutes in there. You have a homily in there. You might have a reflection song, like I say, in terms of married life or whatever. So these things will be, I call them holy fillers, but what I mean by that is you want to give it a space and a time too for it's memorable.
Our daughter's was almost an hour until Mass.
Yeah, and it could be.
And we had,
Yeah.
she had songs and she did flowers to Mary.
Mhm.
See, those are the things that'll add into it. That's why I gave you the straight answer, because they may want to have a unity candle.
Exactly.
Yes, we did that too.
If they're Hispanic, they won't have the lazo and that, and some of those things, which you should get familiar with, all the various customs and things like that. So those can add, and you don't ever rush them. You just let it be. It is what it is, and you kind of let it go along. So those can change it, flowers to Mary, even without the Mass. You can do all these things. And this is part of what you do in your pre-marriage as you work with them. You give them some options, because most of the time they don't know, and then you explain what the meanings behind them are, and then say, now, you all think about them, whether you want to do these things or not. And a lot of times, I've had a couple come back and say, well, we want to do this, but we don't want to do that. That's what you do.
And so, as a normal, what I do when I celebrate without the Mass, there are times when for one reason they don't want to have the Eucharist, it's a good half an hour, and it could be a lot more than that too. I'm not saying that you can't, matter of fact, it's up with the couple to develop this and all this, and the encouragement is, this is a celebration. You're gonna put a lot of time into the reception and all the things you're gonna do after this, so that is sacred time. You try to do it with a sense of that sacredness.
A question, everything's been said that needs to be said with Frank. We plan on using a couple of customs that we did when we got married. When do those come in? When do you do those?
Which ones?
The arras and the lazo?
Awesome.
Usually after the blessing of the rings.
Okay.
What is that?
We'll tell you when we get.
Yeah. Let's find the history.
Coming soon, JJ
It's a local,
It's a-
the arras or it's money.
Coins.
Yeah, it means that you'll have
Which
good
will be
fortune.
providing
Yeah.
lazos.
And the lasso is, it signifies the union. the
During
union.
the ceremony.
Yeah.
Unity.
Often, and that's usually done in place of a unity candle, although in one case because it was a Hispanic woman and a Caucasian man, I let an exception go and did both the candle and that, but normally it's one or the other. Because they both are a sign of unity.
Yeah, 'cause we
A
didn't-
unity candle, you usually have the parents at the very beginning, before you do the opening, come up and explain briefly, say, that the mothers or the fathers, or however they've decided to have this done, they will come and light 2 candles, and then go be seated, and then you continue on with the liturgy of the word, and go forward. And then after, the same time you would do the aris or lazo, you would do the unity candle. So it follows, they all kind of land on the same
After the
place.
blessing of the rings.
You know, the one that Diane and I observed this summer was interesting because you said that it's like one or the other, they had, and it seemed to me overdone. They had the unity candle, they had the lazo, they had the money thing. Then there was a Filipino thing with the veil, because the husband was Filipino, and, I mean, it was like, and then there was the flowers, and I'm like, how many things are we gonna have here?
Anthony, yeah, Joe, that's a good point, because remember, the idea, a good liturgy, I know Kathy talked about it, you talk about baptism and other sacraments too. You don't wanna multiply rituals. So normally, but John's right here, that there's a sensitivity to the couple too, so you have one couple that really, the parents, and they really want a unity candle, and you do that prayerfully, but also you had the lasso too, the rope that goes around, so to speak, or the lasso that goes around. And you can do that, but be careful not to suggest that we do all these different symbolic type things. The other thing is, if you are gonna do it, especially, let's say, you might say, let's say you had the lasso and you had the unity candle, for some reason you can do them both. You might want to divide it up with an instrumental music piece, so that you had maybe the unity candle went on, and then there's let's just reflect on the meaning of our unity in life, and so forth. Then have this kind of background music, maybe piano music or whatever, whoever's there, strumming something or whatever, and then you might do the next one, so that it's not just like one sign after the other sign after the other. Okay?
I think that is part of our tradition, the Filipino custom, to have the unity candle, you have the lasso, the veil, everything. It's all.
They do all
part
of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
all part of it.
Again, that's the question is how it's coming across. How do you present this to the people of God in a way that it's not just becomes tedious or one thing. Okay, let me just make a couple of comments. It was very good. I thought you were comfortable. You welcomed them. I mean, obviously you're nervous. I think this is your first time up there, but you welcomed them. You made them. You called it Mike. Why you told this? You did a long process going through and so forth. The readings were great. Appreciated the reading.